Hare Krishna. Welcome to Module 3, Who Am I? Part 3. In this part, we are going to discuss about my three bodies. Yes, we all have three kinds of bodies. Based on the Vedic wisdom and the Vedas, it is mentioned that all of us living beings in this world that we see each other, we have three kinds of bodies. The one that we see each other with, the one that we perceive, a dog, a cat, a human, and so on and so forth, is called the external body which we see, is called the gross body. This gross body is made out of 5 elements, which is earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Now, we are humans, we are earthlings, we have earth as well as all the other elements, but majority is an earth body. For example, if a fish which lives in water, it has more of the watery element, therefore it could live in water. And science has found that there are bacteria living in fire, and therefore they have a more fiery body. All having said that, this gross body is that which we can actually perceive each other with. So this is made of 5 material elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Behind this, within there's another subtle body. This subtle body which exists, but we can't perceive it. This subtle body consists of mind, intelligence, and false ego. All of us have a mind. We know it's within us. If you can point, can I point to where my mind is? We can't. But we know I have a mind. We know I have an intelligence. Intelligence is not necessarily situated here. This is the faculty to think. But intelligence is everywhere. For example, if you're walking on a lonely night, probably to a jungle or to a forest, and suddenly you step with your foot on something slimy, squiggly, immediately you'll understand it's a snail, or probably it's a leech, or maybe even it's a snake. Just by stepping on it, your foot has the intelligence, even without seeing it, to immediately understand. So intelligence, mind, and ego is something which pervades our entire body. It is subtle, it has no physical location, but it exists. You can't ask someone, please give me 2 kilos of your intelligence, or how much of pounds of mind do you have? So the mind's faculty is to desire, right? It's filled with emotions, it's filled with thoughts, whereas the intelligence faculty is to discriminate. And false ego is there as an identification, the identification that I am a male, I am an Indian, I am an American, I am an European, I'm a woman. So that identification that we have with this body is called false ego. That false ego is that which, when someone praises us, saying you did very well, we feel happy. And when someone kind of, insults us, we feel very sad because we identify with it. So that is the ego. It remains everywhere with us. So for example, if a person wants to cross the street, how these faculties come to play? So the person who desires to cross the street, that is the mind having a desire. I want to cross the street because I want to go and purchase something on the other side. So as he's crossing the street because of the mind, he's identifying with himself that I am the person that's crossing the street. Ego comes into play, mind comes into play. Intelligence says, wait, look left, look right, look left again, then cross. So intelligence kind of assists with the mind, assists with the ego. And this gross material body, the gross body is just pulled through, is just taken through. So the desires of the jiva, the desires of the spirit soul, is enacted through the subtle body and finally is actually executed through the gross body. So the first body, like I discussed, we have this gross body, and within it we have the second body, which is mind, intelligence, and false ego. And the actual body, the actual us, is that soul which is sitting inside. If the gross body is made out of earth, water, fire, air, and ether, and the subtle body is made out of mind, intelligence, and false ego, the soul, the inside body, we, the actual us, the actual we, is made out of 3 things. In Sanskrit, it is said as Sat, Chit, and Ananda. Sat means it is made out of eternity. Chit means it is made out of knowledge. And Ananda means it is made out of happiness. So this is the constituents of the soul. The soul is eternal. And therefore, all of us, in one sense, no one wants to die. We like something which is permanent. Imagine if you had a house which you have to change every 2 months. It becomes very irritating. We look for something permanent, and something temporary can be like against our nature, because the soul by nature wants something which is permanent. The soul is permanent. Sat. Chit is knowledge. The soul is filled with knowledge, wanting for knowledge. Right? We are illuminated by knowledge. And Ananda, just like we discussed in the first module, we are all looking for happiness because happiness is ingrained within us. So these are the three bodies that we have: a gross body and a subtle body, and we ourselves, the soul. Now we can look at another analogy, how all these come into play. So for those of you who use computers, you have your hardware, you have your software. The hardware is like this gross body. The software is like this subtle body, mind, intelligence, false ego, that activates everything. But more important than hardware and software is the BIOS, which actually kickstarts or jumpstarts the whole computer. So the soul is like the BIOS, which actually jumpstarts everything. And then you use an application which you desire, and then that sounds in visuals and audio and all different things. The Vedic Shastras, they give another beautiful example. Imagine a chariot, and this chariot have a lot of 5 horses. These 5 horses are compared to the senses of this body: hearing, seeing, touching, smelling, and so on. These horses are controlled by some reins. And these reins of the horses are compared to the mind. So the mind is which moves the horse-like senses. Horses are difficult to control. They run here, they run there. And what is holding on to the reins? The driver. The driver is compared to the intelligence. The intelligence is what restrains the mind's desires, which then restrains the senses. And all of this in this chariot of the body, the passenger sitting at the back, observing all this, is the soul. So we are actually that neutral witness, the passengers of our own vehicle, moving through life, seeing things happen, interacting with the world, interacting through our gross body, and experiencing through our subtle body. And that impressions are actually hitting us as the soul. So the soul is nothing but a passenger in this body. So what is then the purpose of this body? There's a beautiful story. Once there was an old lady who purchased a parrot in a golden cage. And she loved it so much. And every day she would come and she would clean the golden cage. She would clean the cage, wiping it and keeping it very nice and clean. But she forgot to feed the parrot. And one day the parrot died. And she was thinking that every day I'm coming, I'm cleaning the cage, I'm polishing the cage. Why did the parrot die? Wasn't the parrot happy? So someone told her, my dear lady, you're supposed to feed the parrot. Polishing the cage alone is not enough. So similarly, in our lives, we are polishing and taking care of our gross body as well as our subtle body. We talk about mental health nowadays, taking care of the mind, taking care of our intelligence. We do all of this for our external bodies of the gross and subtle. But what are we doing for our real self, the parrot within the golden cage, the soul? Are we nourishing it? Are we touching the soul? What does the soul need? What does the soul want? So from here we can understand our 3 bodies in a beautiful analogy of a computer, in a beautiful analogy of the chariot of the body. And the purpose of having this body is ultimately to feed or to understand that the parrot in the cage is the most important thing, not just the cage itself. Hare Krishna.